Hi, everyone. This is Sam Schick from JRA, where we help you make more money and live a better life. Hey, listen, I've been talking to you about a few subjects, but one of the things I haven't done is kind of give you a history of where I came from and how I got in the junk removal business and the similarities of what I've done. I was in the optical business, eyeglasses, for 26 years. I started back when LensCrafters was building their seventh store, so kind of a startup stage. I had about 3 or 4 years of manufacturing how to make eyeglasses with lenses and things of that nature. So I had the experience in the manufacturing side, so I went to work for them. But the similarities of startup of a optical store and a junk removal business are some similarities, some differences, and I wanted to talk about those today. So I had the opportunity to work for LensCrafters in both Chicago. I worked for the concept, the idea, when we went to Canada with a small group. Worked for it in the UK and England when we took the same concept of 1 hour service into the UK, and the same thing in Ireland. So I did it for quite a few years, startup companies. And then I came back to the States and worked in an optical company, large company, and it was doing startup stores, strip center optical stores. So it was always a retail-based company. Our product, which is not similar to the junk removal business, was not only a product, but it was a service. We had the product of lenses and frames. We had the product of manufacturing, or service of manufacturing. We had the service of opticians and optometrists. So it was product and service mixed together. But there's one equalizer that is always there, and that was the sales and marketing side of a startup business. And that's what I'm here to talk to you today about. Is getting into the optical business is certainly much different than getting in the junk removal, but there are some similarities. Some of the similarities are it's always about people. Good people drive good business, and if you're opening a sales and marketing company like I did, like I learned how in the optical business, 15 years ago I opened up my junk removal franchise for the largest franchise in the world, and I opened it as a sales and marketing company that just happened to pick up junk. For me, I understood that much easier than I understood junk. Sales, product, service, I already had that 26 years of it, so it was pretty easy to me. So I took that and brought it over to the junk removal business. I was on the trucks for a couple of years. I learned the business from the ground floor, and I applied some of the sales and marketing things that we did. So realize that it is a junk removal company, but it's a sales and marketing company, and that's how I treated it. For instance, in the optical business, we had a methodology of what a customer experience is supposed to be like, and we called it GULIC. Kind of a crazy name, but GULIC stood for Greet, Listen, Educate, and Close. We now have the same kind of crazy sounding. It's called GREAT. I guess it's not as crazy sounding as it means, but GREAT, which stands for greeting, restate value, estimate price, assumptive ask, and thankful ending. And we did situational role plays on a daily basis in both businesses. So in junk removal for 15 years, yes, every day we took a letter and we situationally role played it in a controlled environment where I didn't have to learn on customers. So in those ways, it was a very similar business. I understood that, and that's why I think it was so successful in growing my business as quickly as I did, because it's all about you're developing that relationship. Now here's the difference. In the optical business, we had a bricks and mortar type of business that was usually in a mall or in a strip center. Cost a lot of money to open up an optical business. In fact, it was somewhere between $500,000 to $700,000. It's probably more now, but certainly it was costly with equipment, frames, inventory, people. We had one time we had 24 people in one store. So believe it or not, it's a lot less now. They've kind of made certain efficiencies and changes in it, but it was always about the people. Same with junk removal. It was always about the people. They talk about my sales and the fact that I had $10 million in sales my last year, but it wasn't me. I certainly couldn't service that many customers myself. It was all about the people that I had brought on, and I certainly give them as much credit as possible. It's finding the right people. Good people drive good business, and just just make sure that you have the good people. As far as opening up a business, the junk removal business, you can open it for as little as $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000, maybe even little, maybe it's smaller than that, but pickup truck and a trailer. But when I got into it 15 years ago, I found a franchise system. I had about $250,000 of workable capital to put in a business. So I wanted to start off strong so that I didn't have such a long and intense startup period. So I would tell you that getting into the junk removal business is you can get into it pretty cheaply, but to do it right, I would think that in today's market, $30,000 to $50,000 of workable capital is probably where you want to start, because you have to not only start with the proper uniform, or let's say the model, proper uniform, proper trucks, proper tools, but also the proper marketing and sales techniques, and to be able to train these over and to be able to scale it as quickly as possible. So I would say, to do it right, you want some extra capital. Call it the $30,000 to $50,000 to open the business as a cushion. We are cyclical. There are times the first quarter is a softer quarter than all the other quarters, but the second quarter is the largest. Third and fourth are in that order. So you want to have yourself a bit of a cushion. So I would say, to do it right, you want to be in the $30,000 to $50,000. You want to have a great marketing plan, have not only grassroots, or as I call it, truck-based marketing in effect, but you need a marketing partner like JRA, where they handle the digital marketing for you, and they're the experts. I mean, they're people that's what we do every day. We're working with junk removal companies across the country and even in other countries. So let us handle that. You guys handle what you do best, and that's customer experience, and that's where you build the business. And some of the similarities where I built my business in the optical business by providing great product, great service, and great customer service. So, I did the same in the junk removal business. I provided the best service that I could. I didn't have a product, so there wasn't really a product that I sold. It was just a service. So it had to be better than anyone else's. That's why we practiced. That's why we role played. That's why we polished our boots before we left morning meetings. But we did things that nobody else would do. So I think that's part of what you want to do as far as scaling a business, is make sure your customer experience is locked down. Not only the image, the brand, but also the experience. Your customer has to be wowed. And the big difference is we're in their house. The difference between optical and junk removal was the fact that I go to my customers in junk removal. In the optical business, they came to me. So it was a big difference, because I think the loyalty and commitment is much stronger when you're in people's homes than it is when they come to you in a mall or in a strip center. So I think that loyalty issue is much, much, much stronger. The opportunity to develop a relationship, much stronger. And people who go out to have to go to a retail store have so many choices. But if you've come to them, you're in their home, you're in their private space, and you turn the experience into just an incredible experience, you'll have them coming back. So a lot of similarities. Again, when I opened 15 years ago, and I had the experience and the training from the optical business of sales and marketing, and that's the way you want to come at the junk removal business. It is a sales and marketing business that just happens to pick up junk. And if you get good at sales, and you get good at marketing, and you get great at your customer experience, you will scale the business quickly, and you'll hit those numbers that I know that I was very successful, but I think that there are going to be other people that are just as successful, even more so. Just follow the idea of always being a sales and marketing company. Anyway, that's a quick tip for me, and you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.